It's Swank in space. Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry and today I'm not actually reviewing a movie, I'm actually going to review a Netflix series called Away. It's 10 episodes. I've only watched 5 of them so far, so maybe keep that in mind. This is kind of a halfway point. I thought I would take a look at this series and see if it's worth finishing, and that's what my review is going to be about. So Away is kind of a sci-fi drama TV series about the first mission to Mars, and Hilary Swank plays the commander who's in charge of the expedition. Her character's name is Emma, and half of the show is about her and her small crew on their ship as they're on their way out to the Red Planet. The other half is, as you would expect, showing her family and the connections and things going on back home at the same time, which is a pretty familiar formula. I think most of the time, whenever certainly when there's anything that's based on the space race in the 1960s, whether it's The Right Stuff or First Man from a couple of years ago, there's a lot of attention that's paid towards the actual effort to get to the moon or get wherever in space. But then there's also a lot of attention paid to how about the wives back home of the Mercury astronauts? How are they coping? And Away tries to kind of flip that a little bit in that this time, the mission commander is female, and so she's the one out who's exploring space. And then Josh Charles plays her husband, and he's back home, and he's got his own issues to deal with. So there's a little bit of flip there, but for the most part, at least 5 episodes in, it's a pretty straightforward story that's interesting enough to make me want to watch the next episode, but not desperately so. I think that there are some good points here. Hilary Swank does a very nice job as Emma. Josh Charles, who you probably remember best from Dead Poets Society, plays her husband, and in the first episode, as they're getting ready to take off, he winds up having an accident, has a stroke, and so a lot of his character's struggle is going to be with trying to recover from that. At this point, again, 5 episodes in, he's been paralyzed from the waist down, and so he's back at home and he's in a wheelchair, and they've got a teenage daughter. Emma, of course, has her own issues to deal with while she's in space, and every episode zeroes in on one particular tragedy, potential crisis, which in a way seems a little bit artificial and kind of fabricated for the sake of the series, to make every episode interesting for some reason. It would seem a little unrealistic, except this is coming out in 2020, where every week kind of seems to have its own crisis. So in that sense, maybe it's a perfectly timed reflection of society, and art is reflecting life, or whatever cliche you want to use. Overall, I think that one of the key things that stands out to me about Away is that it is science fiction. A good portion of the series is set in space, but even though the effects are good, there aren't a whole lot of effects. This is not, this isn't Gravity. This is not The Martian. It's not even The Right Stuff or First Man. It's very much about the human drama, which is a good thing in certain ways, certainly in terms of character development, but it's a little slow, and so I'm interested enough to finish the other half of the series and see where it goes, but overall I'm still kind of waiting for it to grab me. One of the reasons for this is that, like Lost, each one of the episodes seems to kind of zero in on one particular character, because of course there's Emma and her husband Matt, but then each member of the crew that's on its way to Mars also kind of has their own backstory, and each of the episodes seems to kind of zero in on one character or the other in the same way that Lost did. They're not necessarily, actually I think they are some flashbacks now that I'm thinking about it. So that comparison doesn't really work very well for Away, because Away is not nearly as engaging or as fun as Lost is, and so the reminder might actually kind of work against the show in that sense. But again, there are enough good things happening that I'm interested to see what happens and to kind of see where they take it. Of course, they're only halfway on the voyage to Mars, 5 episodes in, so it might still go somewhere really, really dramatic and incredible. Kind of waiting for it. Now, in terms of rating, Away is rated TV-14, and the majority of the episodes are pretty safe, if not entirely family-friendly. One of the exceptions is the first episode, which has kind of a sex scene between Emma and Matt, before she's supposed to fly off into the cosmos, which is still kind of barely in the PG-13 realm, but it's kind of pushing it a little bit. And so even TV-14 seems like it might be a little bit soft or inaccurate in certain places. So you might want to keep that in mind. A little bit of profanity and stuff here and there, and some violence. Not action violence so much as just, the character cuts himself and falls on the floor and there's some blood and that kind of thing. And so I would mostly say that it's a PG-13 type of series, TV-14, but there are enough exceptions to think, I want to raise my eyebrow at that. So overall, considering that I've only watched half of the series, I'm going to give away 2.5 stars at the moment because it hasn't quite won me over, but there's enough good happening that I would like to continue it and see where it goes. So what's your favorite movie about space exploration? Go ahead and leave your answer in the comments below. Thanks for watching. This has been Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry, and I would love it if you would subscribe on your way out. Keep your notifications on so you can see our new videos as soon as they're posted. And whether you're in space or on the ground or somewhere in between, have a great, safe day. Take care.